Welcome to the World Rally Championship. We're in Strasbourg, the very heart of Europe, for the Rallye de France, Alsace. And this is the ultimate tarmac rally, twisting and climbing its way up through forests to mountaintops, and then plunging back down in a charge to the finish. He who finds the courage to break the latest will take the spoils. The Rallye de France Alsace makes its second appearance in the WRC. Like the European Parliament, the event is based in Strasbourg, which nestles on the banks of the Rhine on the border of France and Germany. The stages are run in the Vosges Mountains and Basse-Rhine vineyards. World champion Sebastian Loeb is a local hero in Alsace. Last year he won the title here in front of a delirious home crowd, and he's our featured driver this weekend as he closes in on an 8th straight world title. Our stage of the day here is Pays d'Ormont at 36 kilometres. It has everything a tarmac stage should. And we'll bring you all the action from a rally that WRC drivers rate as one of the finest tarmac challenges. This event demands that the drivers use their whole repertoire of sealed surface skills.
They're great flowing stages that vary quite differently from the vineyards to very beautiful, like, sort of mountain-style roads.
Like, some sections are hell of a fast, but it's not that boring. It's turning all the time a little bit, so a lot of action going on over there.
It reminds a little bit from Germany some places, but then it also reminds from Monte Carlo. But generally, it's I think it's quite flowing. You have a quite flowing roads over here. The very difficult character here is that if it rains, it turns out to be really, really muddy, and it comes extremely slippy. It makes it really stressful to drive.
The weather will play a critical role here. In 2010, heavy rain transformed the rally. Standing water mixed with mud and debris dragged onto the stage from the constant cutting made it tough going for those trying to take on Loeb in his own backyard. But cutting corners is not an option this year.
Last year the roads were completely destroyed because of the mud we were bringing on the road with the cuts. But this year they put some poles in nearly every corner, so we cannot cut. So even if it's raining, it will not be the same as it was last year.
Every corner we cut it last year. There's now steel posts, so as long as it stays consistent that they stay there all the time, you know, we can't really cut that much, and it's definitely going to be a lot cleaner than last year.
We have to adapt to all the condition in rally, and sometimes yeah, you have to take notes with that, and it's the same for everybody. For sure, sometimes it's not like natural driving, natural line because of these poles, but in one way it's better because the road will stay more clean. Some places, if you cut, you can go over them and they can just bend, but don't care. You never know if it turns and goes inside the radiator or something like that, so there is a big risk.
Yeah, well, just don't cut. That's it. Sort it.
The 2011 title race is finally poised. Sebastian Loeb's lead is in danger. A disastrous puncture-handed victory to his teammate Ogier in Germany. Then a distracting split time in Australia means he's allowed Mikko Hirvonen to forge his way back into contention. Loeb will be out to make amends and take one step further to claiming his 8th consecutive title.
It's a rally which is close to my hometown where I'm born, so it's very nice to drive here in front of so many spectators and friends, so that's for sure a very good rally for me, especially because I won it last year and I won the championship here, so I have got some very good memories from here.
On the eve of the event, Loeb's legion of fans jumped at the chance to spend some time with their hero. They also welcomed the rest of the stars of the WRC to the town of Ilkirch before they headed into Strasbourg for the ceremonial start. Thousands of fans had streamed into the streets of Strasbourg, creating a crackling atmosphere as Loeb went over the ramp to rapturous applause. It is one of the biggest lineups of the year so far. For the first stage the following morning, after his Australian woes, Loeb is now just 15 points ahead of Ford's Mikko Hirvonen. Citroën Tactics prove they have less confidence in Ogier's title chances. He's 14 points behind Hirvonen. Then comes the second Ford of Jari-Matti Latvala, with Citroën privateer Petter Solberg just 6 points behind in fifth. The M Sport Stobart Fords of Mads Osberg and Matt Wilson are next. Danny Sordo scored a podium finish on the German tarmac in the Mini. While further back, Ken Block has had a tough run in 2011 so far, as has Mini's Chris Meek. The Northern Irishman has the speed. Now he just needs the luck. Sebastian Loeb is a legend in these parts, but he'll have to stay focused despite all the attention.
We have to stay concentrated.
Yeah, how do you do it though?
Try. What can I do?
It is the championship leader who's the first into these incredible roads of his homeland. Dry conditions on this first morning, so Loeb, like most others, has opted for hard compound tyres. Here we go then. After the disaster in Australia, the championship leader needs to respond on his home event, and as we've seen for the last 8 years or so, Lemaitre takes some beating on tarmac. Unsurprisingly, Loeb is the early pace setter, despite carrying 2 spare tyres. After that devastating puncture in Germany, he's not taking any risks. He'll need to be wary of any damp patches in this early morning start. And as ever, fans lining the streets, especially through the villages that punctuate the route. After an internet campaign by the team's fans, Ford are running with a mean-looking black livery in France. And Mikko Hirvonen has been handed a lifeline by the Citroën Mayhem down under. After another intensive tarmac test recently, Mikko's changed the car's asphalt setup to make it stiffer and more aggressive. It should make the handling of the Fiesta RS more precise, which is essential on these technical roads, especially with these poles on the inside of many of the corners to prevent cutting. Sébastien Ogier had his opportunity to catch his championship-leading teammate in Australia until he too fluffed his lines. There are lots of tight junctions around in the vineyards, and this is, of course, a home event for Ogier too. He again proves his own tarmac pace with the fastest time through stage 2. The second of the new all-black Fords is into the stages, and Jari-Matti Latvala has interestingly opted for soft compound tyres. The 26-year-old is second quickest in the opening test, and although he slips behind Ogier on the first run through Ungersberg, Jari is again in impressive form on the black stuff. Petter Solberg is a former winner of the Rallye de France in the event's former base in Corsica. It's a strong start to the Rally 2 for Petter and co-driver Chris Patterson. They're just over 5 seconds off the pace after the second stage. Danny Sordo has finished as runner-up to his former teammate Loeb on tarmac events 11 times, including here in Alsace last season. And that stunning podium finish in Germany on Mini's first seal surface round proved the John Cooper Works machine has real pace on tarmac. The Spaniard is already proving it wasn't a one-off. Danny is running in fifth. While Sordo has already managed 2 strong finishes for the new Mini team, his teammate Chris Meek has so far had the lion's share of bad luck and technical gremlins. The British star's pace has been clear to see though, and he's made a solid start too. Meek is in 7th place after stage 2, just behind championship hopeful Mikko Hirvonen. Up front though, it is unsurprisingly Loeb who's made the best start, but he's just 1/10 of a second ahead of his teammate Ogier. The world champion leads on home soil, and on this sort of form he will take some catching. Can his rivals fight back? Find out after the break. Welcome back to the Rallye de France Alsace, where Sébastien Loeb is the early leader on his home event. On then to our stage of the day, the epic Pays d'Aumont is made up of 36 kilometres of constantly changing tarmac roads, starting wide and flowing with good grip, but then heading onto a narrow and technical road towards the finish. It proved incident-filled in 2010. Anything could happen as we return to this incredible stretch of road. And first in is local star Sébastien Loeb. The Frenchman looking incredibly fast in the Citroën DS3 as he looks to settle into a rapid rhythm immediately. An interesting angle here from inside the car. You can see Seb's impressive footwork. Mikko Hirvonen has made a solid start, but he won't want to allow Loeb to get too far ahead.
Pitkä oikein hidas, tolppa. 5, vasen tosi hidas meni sisältä.
Oh, but that's a mistake from the Finn. He was well off the road briefly there. He seemed to get away with it, but it remains to be seen if he's picked up any damage in the ditch. Loeb, meanwhile, is completely composed as ever and still looking like the man to beat. There's a bit of a discussion going on here between Loeb and Daniel Elena. Sounds like this DS3 is in trouble. The car is definitely losing power. Surely this isn't a third consecutive frustrating event on the way for the world champion. Well, this could be another priceless opportunity for Mikko Hirvonen. Frustratingly for the Finn, though, his car seems to be suffering a lot of vibration after that earlier off-road excursion. He must have done something when he left the road, but whatever the reason, Mikko is struggling. Hirvonen's hemorrhaged almost 50 seconds, and with Loeb possibly in trouble, that couldn't have come at a worse time.
Mikko, I heard Jarmo just saying there you'd been off the road, but I think the biggest surprise is you're here first.
Yeah, but all the rallies, now it was not time to make a mistake.
Back with Loeb, and something is seriously wrong. Well, if a Loeb crash is rare, a Citroën technical problem is almost unheard of. The world champion has stopped, and incredibly, the 2011 championship fight has taken another dramatic twist. The world champion is out of the car, and it looks like that DS3 is going nowhere. His teammate is stranded, and Hirvonen has dropped time. Suddenly, Sébastien Ogier is in a really strong position. The Frenchman, of course, had a similar opportunity in Australia, but blew it. Surely Sébastien won't let this chance slip through his fingers. Ogier is the new rally leader and could now be right back in the championship hunt. Further back in the stage, Jari-Matti Latvala has his foot planted firmly to the floor. The Finn will fancy his chances of building a challenge for a first tarmac victory as well. He's still right on the limit in our stage of the day. Whoa, but Jari's off too. Well, has Loeb's dramatic retirement rattled the four boys here? Let's take another look. He just seems to get caught on the exit of that left-hander when he hits the gravel. Enters the corner in a slide. Latvala took a while to get back on the tarmac as well. The drama just keeps on coming in Alsace, and what a frustrating stage this is becoming for the Ford boys. By the end of it, Jari's dropped even more time than his teammate.
It was difficult to drive, honestly. It was a bit difficult to drive. So one of the like a right-left combination, I lost the rear completely on the left, and I just tried to brake. So we went wide and to the grass, but we got stuck. So luckily people came and we boosted, so we got it back. But that's where we lost the time.
Well, this is turning into one of the most unpredictable stages we've ever seen. Petter Solberg is running well at the moment. And with Loeb and the four boys in trouble, this could be a very promising stage for the former world champion. Straight through one of those corner markers, but Petter is up to second, and the Mini drivers will also be in the hunt for the podium positions on this increasingly crazy stage. Oh, but a big moment for Danny Sordo too. What is going on out there? He got away with that and is clearly pushing. It has been effective too by the end of the stage. Sordo's up to third. The Spaniard has proven himself to be one of the finest tarmac drivers of his generation. And Chris Meek is not far behind his teammate. The Northern Irishman is now fourth overall. back in the stage, though, for the second rally in a row. The rare sight of Loeb's stationary DS3, although on this occasion through no fault of his own.
We broke the engine. We had an alarm, oil pressure low, and so we called on the radio, what can we do? And at this time I cut the boost, and I felt the engine has no power, and started to make some noise, so I stopped.
If it's engine failure, that's it, no super rally?
No, exactly.
Well, Loeb on his way back to the service park via helicopter, and what a massive impact that could have on his championship hopes. No Loeb on the leaderboard then, and after the short psalm stage that completed the morning, it's Citroen's second Sebastian who leads the way. Ogier's 5 seconds up on Petter Solberg. Latvala won stage 4 and has already made up 2 places to 7th, but there was bad news for Kimi Räikkönen. He's crashed out on a road section. A service break next at Strasbourg Zenith Arena, and a chance to take in that incredible first loop.
For sure it's not done. It's just the start of the rally. Peter and Danny are close to me, very close, and yeah, still a lot of stages to go, and we have to stay really concentrated. For sure we can do it, but it will be not easy.
We have been fast on every stage, and the long stage we actually were leading in front of Loeb and everybody. And then I saw on the screen that Loeb stopped and Latvala had a problem, and and then I backed off a little bit, and we lost a little bit time to Ogier. But for me, it's a fantastic morning. Car works good, and it's really good fun to be in the car.
Really great morning. The first stage was a little bit bad, but after was very good. The car is brilliant. Any problems? Really happy. So the stages also are really nice.
Well, after that breathless opening morning, what on earth does the afternoon loop have in store? With Loeb out of action, it's Mikko Hirvonen in the stylish new look Ford Fiesta, who is first into the second pass through Klevena. It's been a frustrating day so far for the Ford Abu Dhabi man, and with confirmation coming through that Loeb will indeed not be able to restart, Mikko needs every point he can get. An incredible view of the Alsace countryside. And with the setup tweaked in service, by the end of stage 6, Mikko's up to 5th. Hirvonen is still a long way adrift of the leader, and for Sébastien Ogier, this is now a crucial event. The Frenchman began the rally 29 points behind his teammate in the championship, but he could slash that deficit with a win on home soil. Ogier is the quickest again in stage 5. One of the fastest men in the field at the moment, though, is Jari-Matti Latvala. The 26-year-old has already claimed his first stage win and needs all the speed he can muster after that earlier slip-up. Screaming through the vineyards in stage 6, Latvala is the fastest through so far. It's the time of Sébastien Ogier, though, that will most concern second-place Petter Solberg. Well, they are still able to take the odd cut in Alsace this year. The former world champion was just 7.7 seconds behind the leader after stage 5, and Petter has been in terrific form on this opening day of the Rallye de France. The Finnish boards are coming up, and this is going to be very quick. Yes, that's another stunning drive from Petter. 2.7 seconds faster than Ogier. The gap to the leader down to 5. Well, that's one rival for the rally lead through, but Mini driver Danny Sordo is still right up there as well. As was the case in Germany, the John Cooper Works cars are looking really rapid on tarmac. Danny getting really close to those corner markers as he powers on towards the flying finish. And I think he could beat Petter here. Oh, no, it's the same time, but that is a landmark moment for this young team. It might be shared with Petter, but that's the first stage win for Mini since their return to the sport. And Sordo's not the only Mini showing impressive pace, as Chris Meek is also looking strong in 4th place on his first run in Alsace. He does now have a resurgent Hirvonen chasing him down, so Chris will be keeping one eye on the split times of the Finn this afternoon. It is even tighter at the top then. Just 6.2 seconds separate the top 3 drivers, with Meek still in 4th place. Further back though, Hirvonen has overhauled Mads Osberg to claim 5th. There are 2 more stages to run on this opening leg in France, and the drama isn't over yet. They're coming up in just a few minutes. Welcome back to Alsace. We'll return to the front runners soon, but first a roundup of the leading support championship. The Super 2000 category in 2011 has been dominated by the battle between Juho Hänninen and Oit Tanak. The first day in France has been no different. Hänninen took over the lead from his championship rival in stage 2, only to suffer a puncture on the following test, dropping 2 minutes and falling to 7th. So Tanak gratefully took over the top spot again after surviving a slow puncture of his own. The young Estonian is 18 points behind his experienced rival in the SWRC standings, so every point counts. Oit has built up a healthy advantage by the end of the day. Further back though, there was frustration for multiple Middle Eastern champion Nasser Al-Attiyah. The Qatari driver slid off the road on the opening stage of the rally. And with the Fiesta S2000 stuck fast, he was going nowhere. Evan Brynildsen would be relieved to make it through in second and on course for his best finish of the season. Martin Prokop, meanwhile, spent much of the day getting to grips with his Fiesta setup. He would, though, occupy the final podium position at the end of the first leg. Tanak's lead over Brynildsen is almost 2 minutes, with Prokop less than 9 seconds behind. Hänninen, though, has fought back to finish in 4th. In the WRC Academy, meanwhile, the title race has been blown open by an early crash from championship leader Egon Kauer. At the front of the field, Spanish sensation Jere Lemes was the early front-runner, again proving why he is one of the most talented young tarmac drivers around. But Lemes couldn't stay there long with Kauer out of action. Championship hopeful Craig Breen was in determined form. The Irishman took over the lead in stage 3 and held it for the rest of the day. And Alistair Fisher holds 3rd place after the opening 8 stages. Breen's lead at the end of the opening leg stands at 24.6 seconds over Lemes, with Fisher in the final podium spot. Back to the increasingly tense fight at the front now, though, and while their world-conquering hero may be out of the running, the fans crowded into the stages have been relishing this dramatic opening day. By passing Mads Osberg in the previous stage, Mikko Hirvonen has begun his daunting fight back towards the podium places. A 3rd place finish would be enough to draw level with Loeb in the title race. Oh, but he's not going to do it like that. Another small mistake from the Finn, but they're all adding up, and that is clearly not going to help his pursuit of Chris Meek's 4th spot. Up front, meanwhile, Sébastien Ogier is attacking hard. He's now well aware he's got a real fight in his hands if he wants to secure his first home win. For some reason, though, the Citroën Total Star is not able to push to the maximum, with talk of a slight engine problem in the air. These are nervous times for the rally leader. While his teammate may still be struggling to match the top times, Jari-Matti Latvala has found an incredible rhythm on this first afternoon. He passed his teammate to claim 5th place on stage 7. Petter Solberg in his privately entered Citroën DS3 is just 5 seconds behind the works car of rally leader Ogier. And on the second pass through Pays d'Ormonde, the Norwegian has been in inspired form. I tell you what, he could do this. What a drive from Petter Solberg. The man known as Hollywood takes over the top spot.
Petter, the stage time's in. You now lead this rally by 2.6 seconds.
That's good. Very happy about that, you know, and it's really good fun. I get a good, I beat Latvala also on the stage, so that was good.
After spending 5 years playing second fiddle to Sebastian Loeb, meanwhile, Danny Sordo can sense a first ever win is a real possibility in France. And with the Mini John Cooper works still flying here on the last stage of day 1, Sordo could yet get ahead of the new leader. What a finish to an incredible day. Danny is now out front. A Mini leads a World Championship rally for the first time in more than 4 decades.
You are now leading Rally de France in a Mini.
I'm really happy because I think we're working too hard for this, and now I think in the good place, I think we are leading. So really good. If I need to take one rally for be leading is here.
You've driven for the Citroën team, you've led rallies, you've finished on the podium, but to lead for Mini, does that mean more?
Yeah, to be leading Citroen home was really nice.
Well, few could have predicted this leaderboard at the start of the day. Danny Sordo leads 1 second up on Petter Solberg, with Ogier less than 2 behind the Norwegian. Chris Meek ensures that Mini are the leading team in 4th, while the Ford boys will have to fight back from 5th and 6th. With that much excitement packed into one day, what lies ahead for the rest of this event is anyone's guess. Make sure you log on to WRC.com for exclusive live action, and we'll be back again tomorrow for what's set to be a fascinating day 2.